Hello, it's LaDonia here with Keep It Crafty with LaDonia, and I'm very excited to be taking part in the Stamp Around UK video hop this month. The theme is layers and texture, and I've decided I'm going to use the Santa Express DSP along with the dies and a stamp special delivery just for you from Santa's Delivery. This is the die set, Santa's Trains. And I've used the train track, the trains, and these bits here, which I've used for the smoke coming out of the train. So that is what I'm using, and I'm going to crack on because we've got quite a bit to do. I've got everything prepped, but I just wanted to show you what I've done. I've taken a strip of this piece of DSP. That is what is going to be the focal point on my card, and then I've used the die for the train. I've cut out a train here, and then I've fussy cut a couple of the trees, and then I'll fussy cut die cut some of the carriages as well out of the DSP. So that's what I'm using, and I've got all this bundle of bits here. So it's going to be assembly, that's what we're going to be doing, but that's all the bits we're going to be using. So I've picked out the green, which is granny apple green, and I've just scored a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock at 6 inches, and I've just folded and burnished that. So I'll put that to one side for the moment. Now today is the hottest day, or has been. It's now night time, and I've die cut these things, and I've cut and embossed some things, and they've warped. So you see how much that one's warped, because it's just been so hot. So I'm going to back these onto a piece of cardstock first, just to give it a bit more strength, and hopefully it should all flatten out. The glue should help keep it flat anyway, but just as a extra precaution, because this is going to have to last now to Christmas, because obviously it's a Christmas card. So I'm going to back these onto a piece of white card, just for a bit of extra strength. Now, if you're watching this, I would love a thumbs up. That would be fantastic, please. But also, please do go into the description box and click the links for the other videos, because there are some amazing demonstrators in this hop. And like I say, I'm very excited to be taking part alongside them. So, we've got that. That is going to be the top. And then I have used, where did it go? The Whimsical Woodland 3D folder. Don't know if you can see that very well. It's absolutely all full of trees. Beautiful. So let's just pop that away. And I cut a 6 by 6 piece of cardstock and ran that through the embossing folder. And then we're just going to put that up there and in the middle. I did cut it down because this here is 11 3/4, so these two have been cut down slightly by 1/8 of an inch each to make the total length 11 3/4. So we're going to stick those on. And obviously this gives us a chance to get it straight as well before attaching it to the card base. Put plenty of glue on, because with it being embossed and warped, we don't want it going anywhere, so I put plenty of glue on. And then we're just going to put it up there and make it level this end. That's why I'm using wet glue. I'll usually use wet glue anyway, but this gives us a bit of wiggle room. So let's just turn that over and give it a good squish. And then we're going to do this exactly the same with this piece here. Plenty of glue, help with the warping. Yes, broke records today in the UK. So it's been rather hot. But I've just been standing outside. We've had a few drops of rain, and it's been glorious. So now, if you can see that, I don't know if you can see that, I've not cut that perfectly level, so I'm just going to get my trimmer out and sort that out. So if I line up the edge of the DSP with my track, and then I'm going to go in the middle with my cutting blade, because when I'm taking off the tiniest sliver, I didn't have my blade all the way down, so we've got a furry edge anyway, because I didn't have my blade all the way down because it got caught on something at the top there. So that's taken that off. Because it's a bit furry, I'm just take my glue rubber. Sometimes when you take just the tiniest snippets off, you do end up with a bit of a furry edge, but usually easy to rectify. So that is that part ready, and that will sit on there like so. I think actually backing that is actually a good thing, because I think we can raise that up on foam pads now. I've got a bit of glue on there, so I'm just rubbing that off. There we go. So I'm going to get some foam strips. Where's my foam strips? I had them a little while ago. Here they are. And I'm going to run some around the edge and raise that up. So these are good for, obviously, the longer things that you want to do. And there's loads in a packet as well. Of course, the key then is to line it up straight when you put it on your card, which I may or may not be able to do. Right. That length. So I'm just going to snip that there. And I'll do one more for the other end, the same length. Oh, taking the backing paper off the rest of it. Don't want to be doing that. So there we go. And then these bits are too long, but we can just cut that to fill up that gap there, and then put that one in there. So let's have a couple of strips in the middle, just to give it some support. We'll use that bit as well there. So let me pop those away. Right, that's come off already, so let's get this stuck down. See if I can get it straight or not. I hope I can. I don't want to make a wally of myself in front of all these other really good demonstrators. Right, so I'm going to stand up for this bit while I stick this on. See if I can get it straight. Oh, I think I've achieved it. There we go. So that's that. Now let's bring in some of the other things. We've got a couple. Well, I did 3 train tracks, but I don't need all 3. I've done them on silver foil and on foam pads. So, and then we've got, I've stamped this in Granny Apple Green, and then use my layer in circle dies. That's going to sit there to cover this, because we need to cover this join here. So that will sit about there. And then we're going to have the train. And then we've got one with a reindeer and then 2 without. So this train can cover up most of that join as well. So they're going to go there, but I'm going to put them up on foam pads. So shall we put them on? We'll put them on before the train tracks. So as then we know that we're joining up, we're covering up that seam. So let me get my little pokey tool. And then we'll get some pads on all of these. I'm not going to go down too far to the wheels, because we're going to want to overlap the train tracks slightly. So let's get plenty on there. Like I say, not too far down. If you hear any rattling, I'm going to apologise, but just in front of me here is my window, and I've got my blind undone. I've got my window undone, but my blind pulled down a bit, stop the bugs getting in. It's still so, we've had that little bit of rain, but it's still so hot. It was still 30 degrees last time I checked. So, yeah, still very, very hot here. We're not used to it, that's the problem. It's not that it's probably hot for other people, but we're just not used to it here. So, we're going to put them, let's get them in position. Probably a bit too, go back a little bit. So let's put them there, let's move that out of the way. So, just peel the backings off. And pop them on. About there. I think that looks good. This is such good paper. I love this paper. This is going to be a card for my daughter and her partner. Her partner's got a little boy, and this is going to be for him. And I'll have to make a baby version because by Christmas I'm going to be a grandma because they are also having a baby. So it's very exciting times. That's that one. And then put the last one on, and see we've covered all of that section there of the join. We've covered that, so that is good. And yeah, that should be fairly good. So now I'm going to put the tracks on. I'm just going to take that off the back end, and then I'm going to have to poke out these little bits in the middle because they've not come off. Oh dear, get myself in a muddle now. Let's stick them to my desk, why not? Maybe I should have done this bit before and saved a bit of time. But I didn't want to make it too long a video because there'll be more videos to look through than when I normally do a hop. So I don't want to bore anybody. That's why I got everything cut ready, but yeah, I probably should have done this, got this ready. Right, so that's this one. So now I'm going to try, where do we want, we're going to want the join right in the middle. So I'm going to just go under the wheels. Like that, and then the next one, excuse me, got a bit of a frog in my throat there. Now these would have come out much easier if I hadn't have put the foam pads on the back, because obviously it's just sticking to itself. So if I would have just done it as silver foil instead of with the foam pad, it would have been a lot easier. But let's make things difficult, why not? Right, so that's that. So now we need to do the same. Join that up there. And there we have our train on the tracks. And I've just spotted another bit of glue. I don't know how I've managed to get all this glue everywhere. There we go. There we go. Right, so that's the train on. Let's just stick this down while it's in my eye line. I think I didn't stamp it very well on that side, so I've turned it over and stamped again. I'm going to have that on foam pads as well. So that is going to sit there and cover the bottom half of that seam. That in there is disguised because there's things that draw your eye line away from it, so I'm not bothered about that bit there. But that will cover that part there. I've got a couple of fussy cut trees. Now when I was fussy cutting, I went straight down this edge here and cut that extra tree off because I'm a bit of a wally. So can we probably tuck that in? Now let's snip that off. Let's adjust it until it's what we want. Tiny bit more. Just snipping it to tuck under the edge of the train, and then the rest of it can cover up the rest of that seam. So I'm going to stick these flat. So I'll just use wet glue. And then this one this end to cover up the seam on this end. That tucks in quite nice. That overhangs a little bit. Can we come down? Not really. Okay, what we'll do, where's my scissors? No, actually, that is fine. It overhangs, it doesn't matter. We'll just make sure that the bit that covers the join, we'll make sure that's not overhanging at all to give the rest of it as little overhang as possible. So let's... And I'm making a proper mess of myself with this wet glue tonight. It seems to be ridiculously runny. I think it's the heat. Alright, so that is the seams covered up. There's that messy glue. So out comes the glue rubber again. There we go. We'll pop this on. Put that. Shall we put some ribbon across? What ribbon have I got handy? Got my Sahara Sand one handy. That does actually, I believe, that is actually part of the colours in the sweets. Sahara Sand, yes. Well, there's not really any of it in this particular piece I've chosen. Yes, why not? Let's have a piece of ribbon. So just snip it slightly longer because I'm going to try and tuck it under the ends. Although saying that, we did use the foam pads, didn't we, which go right up to the ends. So okay, change of plan. We'll snip diagonal there, and then diagonal there, and then we'll lay it across the top. So let me get some tape. And normally I'd go over with my bone folder to press the tape down to make sure it's all secured. But I'm just going to push it in with my nail because it's raised up on foam pads already. And behind this particular piece of tape is a void. And it's an embossed piece of card. So I'm just going to go over it, rub it with my nail. Now take my poker tool and take the backing paper off. And then where did I put my ribbon? There it is, right in front of me. So there we go. And now we'll come back to this, pop this on. So as it goes right to the bottom and covers the join between the two embossed pieces of cards. And I was careful not to go too far up with my dimensionals because it was going to be sitting on top of the train track, so the dimensionals didn't go quite that far. So that is that bit done. Let's add some sparkle. In fact, what other sparkle have I got? I've got these opal rounds. These are pretty. Got a bit of sparkle in them. Yeah, let's use those. So I have one there. Oh, and I haven't done my smoke from the engine, have I? So one there, and so we'll go one there. So I'll put those away, and then we'll get the smoke. So all my little bits of smoke, the different sizes. So let's get them all in the right order. So I've done 3 of each, so we've got 3 that size. What I did with this card, oh, I kept my piece of card handy. Now where have I put it? Here it is. I took a piece of grey granite cardstock, and I took my white ink pad, and then I just squashed my ink pad onto it, and then let it dry. White ink takes a bit longer to dry, so I just left it. But then this heat, it didn't take long. And then used the dies to cut out some of the smoke. So, and then I will save that because I can use that for more smoke on other cards. So let's work out where we want them. So we're going to want one coming straight out of there, and then going up, aren't we? Oh, so it gets smaller as we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll go for an odd number. We'll go 7. Right, so I'm going to get my mini dimensionals and pop them up as well. Ooh. And we'll just do one at a time so as we don't forget where we want them. I think this has taken a lot longer than I'd anticipated. I'd got all the composition sorted out in my head, and I thought, yes, that will be nice and quick. And I don't think it's been as quick as I wanted it to be, so I apologise for that. But we're almost there. Just these foam pads to put on, these mini ones, and then the card is finished. The last one. So please do give us a thumbs up. That would be really exciting if I got some thumbs up on my first video for this hop, and check out the other videos that have been made as well. This is my entry, and I hope you like it. This paper is fabulous. I'll quickly show you the rest of the pack because it is a stunning pack. So we've got this one that I've already shown you, this one, because this is one I die cut the train from. Then we've got Santas and Mrs. Santas. Obviously all double-sided. So, what's it? Fa la 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 la. We've got a die that cuts out this as well. The carriages, which I showed you with the ho 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 on the back. Then we've got presents. Green and red dots. And we've got this one's pretty. It's a little, makes me think a little bit Japanesey with that particular tree there. Very pretty. And snowflakes on the back in green. And then that one that I've already showed you that I used with the stars and stripes on the back. It's a lovely set of paper and great for kids for Christmas. So, that is my entry. I do hope you like it. Please give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.